first thing we're going to talk about today is purposeful living, the 5-step roadmap to attract limitless possibilities to reach your full life potential, or I like to also say your greatest potential. So today is a day where we're just going to spend a few minutes just talking about where you are now and doing some mindset shifts. So today we'll discuss your mindset shift, conquering your limiting beliefs, your money mindset, setting healthy boundaries, and getting what you want. This is the 5-step roadmap. This is what I use to get me, just basics. I'm going to just give you the basics today to get me to where I am right now. My mindset had to change. I had to conquer some limiting beliefs. I had to discover them, what they were first, and we all have them. My money mindset, because listen, your self-worth will your net worth will only go as high as your self-worth, right? I heard Susie say this, and it's so true, because many times we limit the amount of money that we make or what we get based on how we feel about who we are, right? And then setting healthy boundaries. This right here is a game changer, y'all. Setting healthy boundaries and then getting what you want. There's nothing wrong with getting what you want. When God says that I came that you can have abundant life, we got to make a choice to cross that comma and have it more abundantly. In other words, we can have it all. I know many times we're taught that we can't have it all, but I'm here to tell you that we can. That's what God wants for us. So the mindset shift, overcoming our negative thoughts and changing them to positive ones. And I like to say to powerful ones, right? Because the first thing that when we're talking about having a mindset shift is overcoming our negative thoughts that we have every day. So let me stop and pause for a moment. I know that I'm speaking, but this is interaction. This isn't a monologue, it's a dialogue. So please feel free to type in chat. It's a mindset shift. So let's talk. Let's have this dialogue together. Let's talk about how our mindset can shift, because this is the first thing when we're talking about moving forward, right? Moving forward. We're in the Christmas week, the new year is coming. And one of the things that I've been focusing on myself is, where is it in 2021 that I need to release? What is it that I need to have a mindset shift in 2021? Because I refuse to take some things into 2022. Right? Where I am today on December, what is today? The 21st, is that right? Where I am today, December 21st, I have already decided, I've already set my intentions for my 2022 and where I would like to be by December 21st in 2022. So for some of these things to happen, the first thing I have to do is look at where I am mentally, my mindset, where I am in terms of what are my thoughts? Am I still experiencing some negative thoughts, right? And do I need to replace the negative thoughts with positive thoughts? Listen, there's a saying, what you think about, you bring about. So our mind is something that controls everything that we do, right? Our mind, right, is made up of our subconscious and our conscious mind. 95% of what we think about, or 90%, is in our subconscious mind. There's only 10% that's in our conscious mind. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. But the first thing that you have to recognize is, where are you right now? What are your negative thoughts? Are you a person that sees the glass always half empty, or do you see it half full? You have to recognize where you are and what is hurting you and what's hindering you. And what I would like to say is, if you've got a piece of paper, or if you want to type it in chat, where is your mindset right now? Is your mind filled with positive, powerful thoughts? So you can begin to retrain, reprogram your subconscious and your conscious mind to move forward, to accomplish some goals in 2022. The next slide. So we have to begin getting our mindset to shift a bit, to shift. And there's ways that we begin to have the mindset shift. There's ways that we can begin to shift our mindset. So the first thing that you have to do is recognize, what are you tolerating? Yeah, this was a big one for me because what I realized is that I was tolerating things that um, I didn't realize I was, just simple things. Many times we look at the big things that we're tolerating, right? But my question to you, Brittany, what are some of those little things that you're tolerating? Now, I want you to take a second, real quick. What are some things that you are tolerating right now? What are you tolerating? And I want you just to type it in chat. What are some things that you said, you know what, I need to let it go? Shaban, what are some of the things that you're tolerating right now? Are you tolerating some behaviors and in yourself? What are the things that you are allowing to come into your life that you know that you shouldn't even be allowing to come into your life? What are those things? I want you to type it in chat and share it with us, right? What are you tolerating? Let me see if I could check the chat. Because what you allow in your life will continue. And those things that you allow in your life can hinder you from reaching your next level of success, right? So the mindset shift begins to by first recognizing where is it I need to shift. And the first way we can do that is, what am I tolerating? Someone said, I tolerate procrastination. Good. You're tolerating people taking advantage of you. Very good. Very good. Right? Someone said, I'm tolerating fear, or I'm tolerating failure. And we can unpack that some more in terms of, tolerating, the fear. Is that fear stopping you from moving forward? Right? I tolerate sometimes, tolerate people just speaking to me any way they want to speak to me. Do you guys, one hand up, two hand up? Do you tolerate people just telling you all kinds of crazy stuff and you don't say anything? Yeah. What else are you tolerating? Tolerating mean people, right? Tolerating mediocre beliefs of yourself. Yeah. Are you tolerating those things that, can I really do this? Mediocre's belief. Very good. Very good. What are you tolerating? Those are the things that, one of the first things that you need to recognize. What's that next slide, Ani? Because when you begin to look at what you're tolerating, right, then you can begin to say, these are the things that I need to release. I need to stop tolerating this. And then you begin to make the shift is, how can I stop tolerating this? How could I stop procrastinating? By making the decision of what is it that you need to do first. And what I want to stop here for a second, because some of the things we're going to talk about, this is very basic, what we're speaking of, right? Very basic, because some of these things that we're putting up with, some of the things that we're tolerating, some of the mindsets that we have aren't things that can be accomplished just one time. We have to go really deep in that mindset shift. And so here's the second part of the mindset shift, is that you've got to set your values and your non-negotiable standards. With the mindset shift, you set your values and you set your non-negotiable standards. When you're thinking about setting your values, right, I want you to begin to put your mindset, right, into what values do you have that aligns with who you are. Again, this goes back to also your toleration, right? Because there are some things that you have that you're tolerating that's not even in your value system, right? So setting your values, there's two sets of values. I like to define it as the core values and then as your structural values. I have someone that is wonderful, and she wrote an entire class on your core values and your structural values, right? Your structural values are your values that you structure your life by, right? And then you have your core values as well. And your core values it's the core. It's, this is who I am. This is how I can align myself with, right? So one of the things I like to do is let me give you an example of a value. Let's say someone invites you out to go have a cup of coffee. And I love coffee. I'm a coffee drinker. I drink coffee all day. right? And so here it is. Many times, do you tolerate going out to have coffee with someone or having dinner with someone? Do you tolerate that sometimes, and you tolerate them? Am I the only one? Right? One hand up, two hands up. Do you sometimes tolerate hanging out with people that you really don't want to be with? I see Josie's shaking her head. Who else is? Because I know I'm not the only one, right? Because we just feel some type of obligation, right? Well, here it is. I made a decision as I'm looking. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Leanne. Thank you, Jackie. Yes, we tolerate that sometimes. You know, KJ says, especially at work. Exactly, especially at work, right? So when I'm thinking about my values, I think about, okay, this person has invited me to have coffee. And I literally had to do this, guys. Remember, I said at the beginning, what I'm telling you, what I'm talking to you about, these are things that I have done. So this isn't just theory. This is something that's actively practiced, and I've been practicing it, right? And every time I discover something new about myself, then I begin to make the shift. Every time I discover, wait a minute, there's something wrong with my thinking, I begin to do that mindset shift. And so you've invited me out to coffee. Are you someone that I really want to be around? Do I enjoy being around you? Are you adding value to my life? Are our conversation uplifting? Or is it always in a downward spiral? Is it full of gossip? So those are the three things. Are you up? Is this somebody I want to be around? Are you adding value? In other words, are we having an uplifting conversation? Are you making me laugh? You can make me cry, that's fine. But are you making me cry because you're sharing something with me and we're going through this together? Or are you making me cry because you've just hurt me? Do y'all see the difference? Right? Because whoever I make a decision that I'm going to be around, my value has to align with who I am authentically. Right? And so therefore, I've made that decision. I'm not going to compromise that. That's a non-negotiable for me. So I want you to begin to think about, what's your value system, right? What is it? What's your core values? What's your structural values? And how are you aligning yourself? Are your values really aligned with you? Or have you stepped outside of what you value? Right? And so I have here, there should always be standards in whatever you will do and the principles you will live by. Stay true to your core values and you will attract the right people to you. When you are true to your core values, then you will attract the right people to you. Because it's your core values that says this is who you are. And if you see that you're attracting the wrong people to you, then I want you to begin to look at your core values. What's in your mind? Where is it that you need to shift your mind? How do you feel about yourself? How are you looking at yourself? What is it that you're tolerating? What are your non-negotiables? What are the standards that you've set for yourself? It takes a mindset shift. It begins the transformation of how I see myself. Brittany says, let's see, some values are imposed on you by others. I got to put my glasses on, y'all. And not by your own personal convictions. Exactly. And we're going to talk about that some more, right? Because some values are put on us by others. But now here it is now, when we're talking about that mindset shift, this is where you also have to say, these are your values, these are not my values. And so how long will I allow other people's values to now, quote unquote, become my values? Let's go to the next slide. Right? Become my values. So conquering your limiting beliefs. Recognize the limiting belief that's holding you back. Limiting beliefs can be caused by other people's beliefs that were imposed on you. For example, money is the root of all evil. By the way, this is still going back. Again, everything is connected to your values, to what you're tolerating, to shifting your mindset, right? So let's talk about where you are in your core values when it comes to money. And what value system have other people put on you that's their values about money that now causes you to have a limited belief about money? Can y'all see where I'm going with this? Tell me if let me know if you're getting it or if you're not, right? So we have limited beliefs that sometimes become a part of our value system, right? That stops us from really getting to where God has intended us to go, right? So I'll give you an example that's in here. Money is the root of all evil, right? Many of us have been taught that if we make a lot of money, that's not good. Am I the only one? Or you got to work hard to make money, or money comes easy. Or how about this, y'all? Money doesn't fall on trees or fall off of trees. Is that it? Fall from trees, right? When we have those kind of belief systems, we grow up with it. It stops us from getting to where we want to be because we put a limit on how hard we work and what we do. And so therefore, we allow our limited belief system that other people have put on us, the values that they've put on us when it comes to what we can do with money. We forget about the pieces. And listen, for those of you who don't know me, I love reading the Bible, right? But the Bible has over 800 scriptures that's got to do with money. But many times we focus on the negative piece of it instead of what's really positive, that money answers everything. In other words, you need money to make things happen, right? You need money to make things happen. Why? Because many times people think that money, is bad. It's so funny because many times, and I do it myself, KJ, when good things are happening, you dim your light. You don't want anybody to know. Right? Because why? You're afraid. Why? Because of that limited belief. Many times their belief that now hinders you. It stops you. It's a limited belief. And what I have learned is that in order for me to stop my limited belief, I have to lean in. Some of us, we're only going to go just so far on our jobs, just so far in our business, because we've made a choice to stay where we are. We've made a choice to stay where we are because of our limited beliefs, right? And many times we don't even recognize our limited beliefs because, believe it or not, we think, well, this is life. This is how it's going to be. I'm not supposed to have more than this. I'm not supposed to have more joy than this. If I do this, then this person is going to be upset with me. That person is going to be not happy with me. They're going to talk about me. And so we limit ourselves with what we can do. And by the way, when we limit us, I like to say we limit God. We're saying, well, God, there's not great things. We limit God. I made a decision. I'm not going to limit God, so therefore I'm not going to limit myself. So Ashanti, that means that whatever is put before me, I'm going for it. And that means that I'm going to work on whatever it is that stops me. That means that my core value, I'm going to discover what my core values are. What are my core values and how do they align with my belief system? And where is it taking me? So these things I will no longer tolerate. And so therefore they become a non-negotiable for me. One of my non-negotiables is that I will not be around people that will limit what I can do just by the words that they speak. I will not hang around them, because that affects my beliefs. And so therefore, if it affects me and it stops me, then I could no longer be around them. Guys, this is like, I like to say, this is grown folks talk, because sometimes we feel as if we are just boxed in. And what we have to do is have an open mind and a limitless mind so we can accomplish the things that God has for us. Why? Because again, imagine yourself reaching your greatest potential. Imagine that. Imagine yourself using the God-given authority that you have. You already have it. It's already in you. You just now have to know how to access it and access it to its full potential. Its full potential. I want to tell y'all that really people don't limit us. We limit ourselves because what we've done is we've taken our power and we've given it to them. And what we have to do is take back the power that was originally given to us in the first place. And begin to look. I like conquering our limited beliefs because why? Because we can conquer it. It can stop. It doesn't stop in one day. It doesn't stop in two, but it is a continual work to where I say, you know what? I can no longer think like this. So what is it I need to do to change my stinking thinking? When you begin to acknowledge where you are in your beliefs, right? What's holding you back? Then you can then say, okay, this is what I need to release. This is what I need to let go. This is what I need to change. Right. And for me, y'all, I had to go in and say, you know what? Let me forgive myself for even thinking this way. And now, and let me lean into what it is I need to do so I can overcome my beliefs. Right. I had to give myself grace and ease and say, Esther, okay, you thought you couldn't do this. There was one point that I had, a book in my heart to write. And I tell this story often. I thought, you know what? There's just no way I can write a book. My English isn't that great. Am I the only one that you want to write a book? You want to do something, but you're saying, you know what? I'm not a good writer. I don't speak well. Who really wants to hear what I have to say? People make fun of me. This is what I thought. I just thought I couldn't do it. Yeah, Yana, you're not alone. People out there write better than me. These were all of my thoughts. And so I didn't think that I could do it. And what I had to do was lean into my fears of writing a book, my fears of what I have to say, and realizing that what I have to say is important, right? So I had to come over that limiting belief that I'm not enough, right? That I'm not enough, that I'm too old to do this. That's my biggest, I'm too old to start over again. I'm too old to go parasailing. I'm too old to go snorkeling. I should have did that stuff when I was in my 30s. Y'all, I'm 60, right? I should have started this journey a long time ago. And I had to look at myself and say, no, you're at the right time in the right place. And you could always begin again, over and over and over and over. There's always a reset button. And so there were some things I had to unlearn, right? The process of transformation, by the way, is unlearning some things. That's how you begin to conquer the limiting beliefs. That's how you begin to go out and accomplish the things that is out there for you to accomplish those great things, whatever that is that you have to begin to unlearn some things. I realized that I'm in the right place and this is the right time. And I had to lean into my fears. And I had to lean into my limited beliefs so I could begin to reprogram my brain, reprogram my subconscious mind, reprogram my conscious mind in present to what I am and who I am and what I will accomplish. Next slide. In my mindset, I had to begin. So I went through the phases of just shifting your mindset. That's the first thing. That's your first roadmap, y'all. You got to begin to see where you are mentally. Where's your mindset? How do you see yourself? How are you looking at yourself? What's your value system? What are you tolerating? And begin to look at what needs to shift in that area. And then what's your money mindset? Money, 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 money. Y'all know that song? Money, 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 money. Yeah. What's your money mindset? Because if your money mindset is that you're not good enough, you're not good enough, that, if you make a certain amount, you better be careful, right? Or have y'all ever heard money change the person? Money doesn't have that kind of ability. Money can't change a person. The person was already who they were. It just amplifies it. And so we have to shift our money mindset, right? If we're looking at the roadmap to success, right? Shifting our money mindset so we can accomplish the great things, because we know that money answers everything. There's not much you could do without money. Am I right? You need money. So money isn't a bad thing. Lisa Nichols says that money is a dignified conversation. Yet money is the one thing that we're often afraid to talk about, right? We're often afraid to talk about it. Then why is it that God said that he gave us power to be rich? That's what he said, y'all. He gives us the power to be rich. Here's the question. What are you doing? What are you putting in place? How are you shifting? And many times we can't get to a certain place because our money mindset is off, right? And so the key to building wealth isn't chasing money. It's not chasing money, right? We've seen that to where many people have chased money, but it's destroyed them, right? We've seen to where there are many rich people, but they're not happy people. Right. We've got several examples of rich people that are unhappy. Michael Jackson, who, we've got, who is it? That great comedian that was wonderful, Robin Williams, committed suicide. These people don't have money issues, but they weren't happy. Because our money doesn't make you happy. Okay. So if you're looking for money as something that's going to make you happy, no, you've got to shift your money mindset and realize money is what helps you to get to where you need to go. Money helps you to give back into the community. Money helps you to live a good life, but it doesn't make you happy. Am I making sense, y'all? Money is necessary for us to live the abundant life that God has for us. But money is not there to control us. Money is a tool. It's a tool to get us to the next level and to the next level and to the next level and to the next level. Money requires some action steps. Money requires faith, right? Because I can have lots of money, but depending on where my faith is and how I think about money, I can also lose it as fast as I get it. Y'all many times see lottery winners, and you always hear how the lottery winners lose all the money that they get. That's because their money mindset hasn't changed, right? That's because how they see money, right, is just something that they don't know how to manage money. So when we're thinking about our money mindset, we have to think about how are we going to manage the money. And I have on here, faith without works is dead. Mustard seed faith speaks of radical faith that leads to radical action. All of this has to do with money, right? Money. Because when we get money, right, we now have to say, okay, I have the faith. Let me give an example. You're making a certain amount of money. And now you have to have the faith to believe God to take you to that next level, right, of your wealth, right? So now your faith has to take you to that level to where you can say, this is what this money is used for, and this is how I can manage it. But if you don't have the faith to be able to keep the money and to manage the money, then you're not going to get far with that money. Does that make sense? Yes, it makes sense. Great. So then your money mindset has to shape to where money is just a tool that I have. Money has to be respected. It cannot be wasted. How are you managing your money? Do you have a set plan in place? And here's the part, and I think the next slide talks about that. Are you giving back? Right? Are you giving back? Jack Canfield talks about the importance of giving 10%, because money, right, and how you manage money and how you put money into the atmosphere and what you use money for is a universal law. right? Giving back to nonprofits, giving back to your community. Those are all universal when it comes to how you're going to manage your money and how you get money. Am I making sense, y'all? Right. So mustard seed speaks of radical faith that leads to radical action. The mustard seed is a little seed like that. And so I'd like to do this. Your mustard seed, now all you need is a mustard seed that can take you into radical action, right? You're going to say, well, what does that have to do with your money? Sometimes someone will say, well, I don't have money to do this. This goes back again to your mindset about money, your mindset shift, your tolerations goes back to, I don't have money to do this. I can't hold on to money. I can't get this. It just seems like when I take 2 steps forward financially, I take 4 steps backwards. Are you that person that whenever you're thinking about money, it's always in a negative form mindset? Are you that person that when you're speaking about money, it's always negative? So then you're speaking it into the atmosphere. And so it doesn't lead to any type of action because it isn't even speaking faith. Are you that person? I want you to begin to look about, how do you see money? What is your relationship with money? Do you see money as a tool to help you live a better life, not just for yourself, but so where you can also give back to your community? Are y'all getting anything out of this? Need to take a second and read. So your money mindset, train your mouth so your mouth can train your heart. Ooh, train your mouth so your mouth can train your heart. My husband used to teach this all the time. Train your mouth so your mouth can, in other words, teach your mouth what to speak, reprogram. When you're speaking things, right? When you're speaking, you're reprogramming your brain as well. It's out into the universe. So you train your mouth. How do you train your mouth? By speaking those positive things. Our unconscious mind doesn't understand the future. So you have to speak it in the present, right? So you're not going to say, Angie, I will be. You're not going to say that because then your mind, it doesn't understand future. It understands present. So I am abundant. I am rich. I am well. I am healthy. I am happy. I do have healthy boundaries. Makes sense, y'all? Your money mindset says, I am rich. I am more than a conqueror. I am overcoming this. This is what I am doing. And you're using action words. And when you're beginning to train your mouth so that your mouth can train your heart, you're speaking it. When you're hearing it, it's also training your heart what to believe about yourself. Why? Because out of the heart, the mouth speaks. Let's see what some of the chat's saying. Kay just says, yes, I'm getting so much from this webinar. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Love this. Train my mouth so that I can train my heart. Yes, because out of the heart, the mouth speaks. Listen, you ever heard somebody say, now you know they're just speaking what's in their heart. Yes. That's why the words that we speak and the words that we put into, listen, we're training. All of this is connected. Our mindset, our money mindset, what we're tolerating, what we need to shift, all of this, because we are fearfully and wonderfully made, everything is connected. So it's so important that you train your mouth so you can train your heart. So everything can be reprogrammed. So you could live that life, that great life, know your authority, know your power, know how great you are. Make sense, y'all? Remember that most of your negative beliefs were formed by someone else in your life when you were a child. This means that you might have a blueprint that does not serve you. So here it is. What's your money blueprint? What's that blueprint from since you were a kid that's not serving you right now? Because 9 times out of 10, that came from somebody else, and sometimes it's from a child. We don't have enough money. We can't do this. Oh, that's too expensive. And sometimes now as an adult, you can hear something and you're going to say, oh, that's too, you don't even hear all of it. That's too expensive. Oh, I can't afford that. Well, if you can't afford it, guess what? You won't afford it. Because number one, it's in your mind. You've thought it, you think it, you've thought it, and now you're thinking it. And whatever you think about, you bring about, you speak it. So if you said, there's nothing I say I can't afford, absolutely nothing. If I see something and I make a decision, I want it, guess what, y'all? I go get it. I seriously, I devise, okay, this is how I'm going to do this. Because I know my power. I've taken it back. I've worked on my limited beliefs. I've worked that I could be a Christian and still be rich. Because then I could have it to give to the kingdom, to sow into nonprofit. Yes, money is my tool. I have a forward moving, positive relationship with money. I just got to make a decision. And the things that I want, I speak it, right? I train my mouth to speak, so my heart. Does that make sense? Because out of my heart, the mouth speaks. Make sense? Woo. So in your money mindset, you got to create a financial plan. Okay. So y'all, it just doesn't fall osmosis. You know, it just doesn't come out just from nowhere. You have to create a financial plan. And what gets measured gets changed, right? It changed. So you can't say, and you listen, I don't know if everybody does this, but you just kind of say, I'm just going to wait. Are some of you like that? I don't know. Maybe I'm just going to wait and it's just going to fall. Boom. It's just going to come. Josie's smiling. You got to have a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So what's your financial plan? As you go into 2022, as you're looking at what are some of my mindset shifts that I need to make, right? What's that plan? You know, if you're saying I got the power to get wealth, what's your plan? Because money here, while we're talking about the money mindset shift, right? Because you've got to make that mindset shift, right? Because as I said earlier, your net worth will only go as high as your self-worth. Some of you, that mindset shift is, you're only going to make so much because you don't believe that you could be wealthy. You don't believe that you could be, and if you are, what you going to do with it? I had someone say, well, if you become a millionaire, this is what they said to me. What are you going to do with it? What do you mean? What am I going to do with it? I'm going to invest. Now, I gave a list of things. Why? Because my mindset is there. There's nothing that's going to stop me. I just make a plan on how I'm going to achieve it, how I'm going to do it. Why? Because I know God has it for me. As I sat years ago, and I'm, talking and praying in my devotion times, in my times of meditation, I'd have these conversations and say, God, I know there's more to life than this. I know I could be doing better financially because trust me, like many of you, let me know, I struggle in areas financially as well. Am I the only one? I had to make a money mindset shift. Am I the only, I wasn't, where money then became, I'm living from paycheck to paycheck. Am I the only one? And by the way, you could be making a lot of money and still be living from paycheck to paycheck because you don't have a financial plan. And sometimes you can have a financial plan, but your money mindset has not shifted. Am I the only one? I had a business and my money mindset had to shift for my business to continue to be successful. There were times years ago, and sometimes when I think about it, I'll say to my husband, I say, babe, I'm just so sorry. When he was ready to launch out and to do, I said, no. Why? Because my money mindset. No. Are we going to have enough money? Are we going to do this? Yeah. And when I discovered that there was more for me. So listen, my money mindset had a lot to do with where I was in my faith walk as well. You understand what I'm saying? Where, while he had the faith to say, Esther, we're going to do this and blah, blah, blah. And he had the plan of action to find everything. My faith wasn't there. And so my money, all of it connected. And I had to begin to go on the path and say, wait a minute, God, I'm limiting you because I'm limiting me. This is when God just becomes just like me when he's not. Right? When we begin to limit God, we're saying, well, God, you can't do no more than what my mind can think. Then I say that you need to stretch yourself and stretch your mind because there's so much more that he can do. All we got to do is get into the plan, get our values lined up, get rid of the things that we're tolerating, right? Begin to shift what we're thinking about. Begin to see the glass as half full and not half empty. Begin to put a plan of action in place. Create that financial plan. And then I have here, and give back to excel your financial plan. That was I began, boom, boom, boom. Giving back. Because for God to be generous with you, you're going to have to be generous too. I hear Lisa Sasevich talk about this. Jack Canfield. So many people talk about how you give back. TD, I can name so many people that speak of you've got to give back to the community. Sow your 10%. Give to a nonprofit. So abundance can come into your life. And so if you're there, I want you to hold your hands out like this, just like this, and close it up close it up with a fist. Close it up. When you have your hands closed like this, nothing can go out and nothing can come in. Y'all see that? You got it balled up in a fist. You are not given anything, and so you can't receive anything. Nothing can go out and nothing can come in. So in order for abundance to come in, and when I say abundance, I'm just not speaking of financial abundance. I'm speaking of whole life abundance. You got to be able to give. Financially, give your time, give so you can receive in abundance. Next slide. Woo, this is good stuff, y'all. So you've got to set healthy boundaries, right? And in setting healthy boundaries, right? This is the next step. By the way, let me pause for a second here. Any thoughts, any inputs? Yeah. Latanya says it's in God's plan for you to obtain wealth, change the mindset to know what he wants for us. Yes, change your mindset, but you got to figure out what part of your mind that you need to change, right? Yeah. Good stuff. I'm stretching my mind and thinking bigger. Good. That's KJ. Who else? Anybody else? Any thoughts? Okay, great. No questions or anything. Perfect, y'all. So let's go on to the number 4, right? Setting healthy boundaries. Oh, life right here, y'all. Life. We've talked about the mindset shift. We've talked about what are you tolerating. We've talked about your money mindset, right? Now we're talking about setting healthy boundaries. Really, again, this is the roadmap to beginning to shift some things as you're leaving 2021 and going into 2022. So your 2022 will be better than your 2021. Right? So the things that you're tolerating, you're putting up with in 2021, you won't be. You're releasing it in 2021. You're setting your intentions, you're setting the plans so that this year, like now, you're in a different place. So setting healthy boundaries can be done once you recognize where you should draw the line. So the type of boundaries to set: physical boundaries, emotional boundaries, time boundaries. Oh God, time boundaries was a biggie for me. Sexual boundaries, intellectual boundaries, and boundaries with material boundaries. That's my stuff. Don't touch it. These are just examples, but what are the boundaries you need to set? Healthy boundaries. Healthy, not just boundaries. We're speaking of healthy boundaries. One of my healthy boundaries is the time. In my mornings when I wake up, right? I could get up 6, and I tell people I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. I'm up late at night. But when I'm up in the morning, I like to spend that quiet time with God. About 10 years ago, I saw the importance of setting the healthy boundaries. Oh, maybe it's a little longer, but maybe 15 years ago. The importance of that when I was a CEO of a corporation. And every morning, like clockwork, 7 a.m., a certain one of my administrators would call me and she would run down everything. And one day my husband said to me, he said, Esther, do you realize every morning at 7 a.m., so-and-so calls, and by the time you leave the house after speaking with her, your mood has changed. You're ready to go fire everybody, and you're hard to get along with. Whoa. When he said that to me, I had to begin to look at that. And it was so true. And then I had to begin to set healthy time boundaries. And I do it now. No one calls me before 9 a.m. in the morning unless it's an emergency, and it better be an emergency, because that's my time for Esther to get my thoughts together, to finish meditating, to praying, to have my conversations with God. I've set time boundaries. What are your boundaries? I had to set emotional boundaries, right? Emotional boundaries in terms of I will no longer pack my emotions in as if they don't matter, because my feelings are my feelings. So now I can be able to communicate. I give voice to my emotions in a healthy way so they can be understood. What are some physical boundaries? What are some sexual boundaries? What are some financial boundaries? Healthy boundaries that you can set. Setting healthy boundaries is important for you in your next level. It's important to where you're going. It's important to the greatness that you have to accomplish. Setting those healthy boundaries. So one of the things that you want to train your mind is like what that sign says, I will set healthy boundaries. And what does that look like for you? The next slide. What does the healthy boundaries look like for you? So here it is. Let me ask you a question. Are you enjoying the masterclass so far? Are you getting something from it? Rochelle said, got the thumbs up. Sonia says, yes, setting the boundaries. What are the relationship boundaries that you have to set that's healthy, to where, I got to be there for everybody. And then I'm worn out and tired, but no one's there for me. Healthy boundaries. And number 5, getting what you want, conviction and vision for your goals. Here, let me add this. What I have learned is that your conviction and your convenience don't live on the same road, right? Many times we want things. We want to accomplish this. We've set our goals and we want to achieve it, but we want to do it based on our convenience. And your conviction and your convenience do not live on the same lane. They're not on the same street. You have to make a decision. What's your conviction when it comes to your goals? And if you're looking for it to be convenient, then you might as well lay that aside. Because whenever you've set a plan in place, whenever there's things, when you begin to realize that you've got limitless, that you're limitless, many times it's not convenient. It's not convenient. Right? And you've got to decide what's your conviction. What is it that you really want? And what are you willing to do to go get it? Right? Here's the first thing. Are they really your goals, or is it someone else's goals that you're accomplishing? Right? Is it society's goals for you? Is it your mom's goals? And I'm not saying that your mom's got goals for you. Yeah, that's great. And you want to accomplish those goals. That's great. But are they also your goals? Or is it something that you really don't want to do, but you're only doing it because, and so therefore it stopped you, it's limits you. So the one thing when you're looking about what is it that you want, getting what you want, I want you to first think that your conviction and convenience don't live on the same lane. Right? So if you're thinking, oh, it's not convenient, then you don't really want it. That's what I'm going to say, because there's a lot that's not going to be convenient for you. When it comes to setting the financial plan, it's not going to be convenient. When it comes to stretching yourself, it's not going to be convenient. When it comes to realizing that you are created for more and you're going to accomplish more, that is not going to be convenient. And you got to make a decision. What is your conviction when it comes to that? How far do you really want to go? How much are you ready to lean in? We live in a microwave society where we just want everything boom, boom, boom. It's easy, it's easy, it's easy. It's easy. It's not easy. We're seeing things easy. Oh, they're on TikTok. They got 10,000. They're on this. That's so easy. Think about the cost of all of this. What is it going to cost you to accomplish the goals that you have in mind? What's the cost for you? And what are you willing to do? God says, listen, count up the cost, because you can do it, but you got to count the cost because it may not be convenient. And so for me to get to where I want and to what I want to do, I realized that I had to make sacrifices. I realized that a lot of it was not convenient, but it was necessary. I realized that the conviction I had was greater than my convenience. And so whatever it took, that had to be a non-negotiable for me. Is your dreams, is that non-negotiable for you? Or is it negotiable? The relationships that you're in, the boundaries that you're going to be setting, are they non-negotiable? What's non-negotiable in your life? The dreams that you have in your heart will always be revealed to you. You know what they are. It's already there. The question is, what are you willing to do to pursue it? What are your convictions about it? So in getting what you want, you've got to make a decision. And you have to know what your conviction are. What's your conviction? And is your conviction aligned with your vision, aligned with your values, your core values, your structural values, where your mindset needs to shift so it can be done? The next slide, please. Be ready for obstacles in getting what you want, because nothing that's really worth it is easy. Have you heard that? Listen, because again, going back to convenience, we want things done. We want it easy. We want it just to fall. We want to make this money. It's just going to fall out of heaven. It's just going to happen. We want to start this business. It's just going to happen. We're going to get perfect employees. This relationship, this marriage is going to be great. It's not going to be, I just love him so much. Oh, there's not going to be any challenges. That's not how life works. So you have to be prepared, and to get what you want, you have to be prepared for the obstacles and the challenges, right? For the roadblocks that will come your way, right? And what you also have to realize is that those roadblocks and those challenges, right? They're there to make you stronger. And so I like to tell people, lean into it. Lean into it. Lean in and don't give up. Don't stop and say, oh, this is too hard. Oh, I don't feel like doing this right now. When obstacles start, you have to lean in. What's your discipline? So I went to the doctor yesterday, right? And I haven't gone to the doctor in quite a while, in this particular doctor. And the doctor said to me, he said, you're doing great. He said, you're so disciplined. I was like, wow, I am. He said, you didn't gain any weight during the pandemic. I didn't. Right? As a matter of fact, I lost weight. Your health looks good. Your blood levels are good. This is good. This is good. Getting what I want in my health is what I had to do, because that was in my plan. And I stopped believing that I couldn't be healthy, that I couldn't be a certain size. I couldn't live a healthy life. I made a decision that was limiting me. I had to become disciplined. See, we have excuses, right? Excuses. Let's see. Diane said, good info. It's given me a lot to think about. Good. It is a lot to think about, because we are living in this life. We're on this earth. We're God's angels to accomplish things that he wants done, not just in our own lives, for in the world. We are here to influence our community, to serve our community, and to do great things so we could be examples. There's so much, but we limit ourselves even in our health, as I did at one point. And we have excuses as to why we're not where we need to be. right? And so what we have to do in 2021, what I invite you to do is press the delete button and delete those excuses, release them. So be ready for the obstacles. Now, this is what I have to tell you when it comes to my health. Do I sometimes not want to eat that bag of chips? Yeah, and I have. I'm guilty. I love the kettle chips, especially the jalapeno ones, right? So I eat it. So what I'm saying is that I see the obstacles, right? I make a decision what I'm going to do. I'm not perfect, but I have my intention set, right? And those things that I lean into the blockage and I say, okay, what is it I need to do? So maybe before when I ate a whole bag of kettle chips, maybe I just eat a half a bag now. And then I move down to 5 chips. Y'all get where I'm going with this? You lean in and you make a plan as to how you're going to remove it, how you're going to release it, how you're going to delete it. Make sense? Listen, y'all, I have to do it in moderation, but discipline is key. Health is our wealth. Listen, there's some things that we will not accomplish unless we are healthy, right? Health is our wealth. When we're talking about that abundant life, I talk about the 7 areas, right? And health and wellness is one of them, because if we're not healthy to do some things, we won't accomplish it. And all the money in the world cannot buy us health and wellness, by the way, right? That's something that you have to be, our spiritual life takes discipline. How disciplined are you in every area of your life? For me, in my spiritual life, I'm disciplined, but I could get better. There's so much areas. Sometimes I'm so inconsistent with my meditation. I'm just being transparent. And sometimes it's like life happens and I get busy and I have to stop and say, whoa, come back. Make sense, y'all? Getting what you want. You got to create a plan. Just like you got to do a financial plan to get what you want, you got to create a plan. I created a plan for my health and wellness. I created a plan for my finances. I created a plan for my business as an entrepreneur. I created a plan, a plan in my relationships. How am I going to manage my relationship? How am I going to navigate relationships? I created a plan. For whatever I wanted, a plan is created. And so I want you to look at, where are you right now? And where do you want to be a year from now, 6 months from now, 30 days from now, 90 days from now? And then you take that plan and you break it down into actionable steps to achieve it. You've got to reverse engineer your plan. So in your plan, you have to be specific, because many times we say, I'm going to do this. And it's just so ambiguous. And you find that you don't ever do it. Why? Because it wasn't specific. Didn't have timelines, didn't have dates. I spoke to someone and I said, well, what's the plan? I said, did you create a plan for this? And they said, yeah, I created a plan for it. I said, well, what's the plan? He said, I plan to do it. That's not a plan. Okay, I plan to do it. Let's specifically talk about, what's your plan for where you want to be? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you planning on writing a book? Are you planning on increasing your business? What about your health and wellness? Where are you in your financial plan? In these areas, what's your plan? And it's not enough for you to say, I got a plan. No, what is your plan? What's your timeline? Give me dates, give me breakdowns. And did you reverse engineer it? And where is it that you have your celebrations? What's your plan? So to get what you want, you got to have a plan. Where are you now? You got to start somewhere and make a decision of where you want to be. So as we're concluding, remember I said to you earlier that I'm going to invite you, and my job is to give you the opportunity, right, to connect. And your job is to powerfully choose a powerful yes or a powerful no, whatever it is, because we're always in choice. So what's waiting for you is that each week in the journey is designed to, I'm just going to read it, to take you to a place where you can bridge the gap between where you are now and what I've been saying and where you want to go. But this goes into a deeper level. This isn't just a basic. This is diving deep. This is giving you the strategies and the techniques of where you want to go to accomplishing where you want to go. It'll give you the tools. And it's an 11 module program that helps you to deep dive into every single area of your life. So imagine a life where you reach all of your possibilities. Don't wait until it's too late. The opportunity of a lifetime is only available during the lifetime of the opportunity. And so for the possibility journey, if you're not, because some people that are here are already enrolled in the possibility journey, the cost is right here. There's a full price and there's a payment plan for the possibility journey. It's an 11-month program. And so that is my offer to you to connect. And again, if you don't want, you say, this is not it for me right now, that's fine. But make sure that you're moving forward in something. Don't stay where you are. Don't stay where you are. Dream big. Dream big. Set a roadmap to where you can fulfill your greatest possibility. And should you choose to, then connect with me and allow me to coach you through and to guide you through that. And the enrollment information is right there. So you have two choices from here. You have two choices. And again, the wonderful thing is that we're always in choice. You can walk away and you can do it by yourself, and that's perfectly fine. Or maybe, or you can choose to say, let's come here and let me help you get on the path of realizing and accomplishing what's possible to you. Let's maximize your learning. Let's connect with like-minded people in a community, by the way, that is powerful, with powerful women and some men coming together to accomplish their dreams, to reaching their goals. That's it, y'all.